Hey guys, this is Vol, and I'm going to be talking about Tomb Kings in this video, but I want to get the first piece of news out of the way straight away, and that is that the new Tomb Kings book has just come out for 8th edition, as you guys all know, but as for everybody expecting me to pick up the new book and start a new Tomb Kings list for 8th edition, I've just got to say straight away, guys, I've made the decision to sell my Tomb Kings army. That's right, I'm going to actually be flogging it off. Somebody else is going to be buying it this week, and I will not be playing Tomb Kings in 8th edition, unless, of course, I change my mind down the track and start one from scratch. Now, just let you take that in, because I know there's a lot of people that probably will not be too happy that they won't get to see their favorite Tomb Kings battle reports on the internet anymore. But first of all, let me make it absolutely clear, and I've just got to emphasize this, that if you want to pick one thing out of this video to comment on, let it be this: I'm not actually switching away from Tomb Kings and selling them because I think that the new book is bad. By no means. I actually think the new book's very good. It certainly makes Tomb Kings a very powerful and competitive army in 8th edition. It's nicely balanced. The unit options actually have a really cool feel to them. There's lots of different choices. It's not like a sort of a no-brainer, have to pick this sort of unit and not this other unit. That's the way the book feels. They've got some cool new items in it, and the models are actually not bad at all. The real reason, in fact, there's a couple of reasons why I'm deciding to sell the Tomb Kings at this point, is as follows. Number one, and probably the more important reason, is that I've actually got 6 fantasy armies now and 2 40k armies, and I'm just running out of storage space. I actually feel every time I pick up my army to take up to a game, I feel like, damn, all these other armies that are just sitting away on my shelf gathering dust aren't getting any playage. I'd rather actually somebody else was using them. I mean, ideally, I wish I had a friend who would just come around to my place and borrow my Tomb Kings army once a week and just go and play with them, but that's not really the case. A lot of my stuff is just sitting there. I just don't like that feeling. I'd rather, sell them away to somebody else who can actually make use of them. Second major reason why I'm selling them is I feel that although the new book really has a lot of good choices, makes Tomb Kings a fun army to play, they're not really just quite my style. And one thing I'm really looking forward to at the moment with fantasy is developing my Warriors of Chaos build, continuing to improve my Empire, strategy and tactics, and actually bring my Skaven back up to a level where they can compete. Usually the Skaven games that I've been playing have been sort of low tier, fluffy sort of games, but I want to get the Helpet Abomination, maybe the Furnace in there, and actually be contentious with them and actually kick some ass. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And again, 40,000, Warhammer 40,000, I've got my Chaos Army. I may start another army after that. In fact, I can tell you guys straight away that my Chaos Army is nearly ready. I'm going to start doing some battle reports on them, and I'm actually going to start another 40k army beyond them as well. So that's going well as well. As to the Tomb Kings army that I'm selling at the moment, you guys are familiar with what the models look like from the pictures in this video. If you want to check my battle reports again to see what's in them, fine. In the video description, I'm going to be posting a list of the inventory of what models I have. So if you would like to buy my army, please send me an email about that. I said on the New Zealand forums where I post that I'm selling the army for $350. That's New Zealand dollars. And I've already had one guy tell me he would like to buy the army. It's a friend of mine that I trade with, and I'd like to sell it to him because he will actually be using the army down the future in the club. However, $350 New Zealand money for this army is very low. That's a cheap price. It's a good deal for this army. Really, I should be asking a lot more for that. So I would encourage you, if you would like to own the famous, Vol's Tomb Kings army on the net, it's fully painted, ready to go. It's got everything in it that you need, apart from the new models, of course. If you want to add like a Necro Sphinx or something to it, all good. But you'll have to bid for it. I mean, I'm expecting to have to sell it for at least $400, $500 if I'm sending it overseas. I want to account for postage and handling as well. So if you're interested, please let me know. Serious offers only, please. But it's a great opportunity for a person wanting to start Tomb Kings who's never played Tomb Kings before, loves the new book, loves the models, and would like to have a solid core of, chariots and skeletons and Tomb Guard already painted up to actually just, put into new movement trays, add some, other models too. It's a great show. Let me talk about the new book and what I like about it, and maybe some weaknesses which some people haven't really seen in it yet. What I like about the new book is that it allows Tomb Kings to field a big, epic, powerful bunker unit. You know, you've got the 30 or 40 Tomb Guard. Not too sure whether Halberds or Shields are better for them at this point. But I know that if you put a Tomb King in there, the weapon skill 6, if you give him that item, the Death Mask, it means that you can stop your opponent from using his General's Leadership in the BSB bubble. That's just brilliant. You do want to take that item every single game. And a Necrotect giving the Tomb Guard Hatred, well, really you want to be able to win combat, so I think it's very important for them to have that character in there. As for the lore of the Sands, the Nehekhara lore, great. You know, there's some good spells there, so I'd definitely take a Lord level Hierophant. A lot of people are kicking up a lot of fuss about the cool items you can take, especially that scroll that gives them the extra power dice. Man, that looks like it's really broken. But to be honest, if I could make one recommendation to new Tomb Kings players, take an Earthing Rod on your Hierophant, because if he dies, the army crumbles. You've got a lot worse, you know, chance of miscasting nowadays than you did back in the day, and obviously Tomb Kings couldn't do that before. So when you're up against, you know, armies like Dwarves, where you've got to roll a lot of power dice, or same with Empire with their strong Dispel phase, or Warriors of Chaos with Puppet, where they can make you miscast more often, you're going to need some protection. So let me be that let me make that one piece of advice to you. As for core choices, I think it's cool how you can fill out your big core entitlement with just Chariots. So Chariots are pretty good. You've got some hard hitters there. I'm not too sure if Chariots are game winners. I think they're good units for just blowing away smaller units and sort of the chiff-chaff and sort of maybe flanking later in the game to help you win a combat where you've got ranks to break the enemy steadfast, but definitely not a bad unit. Maybe a big block of 40 skeletons with bows, for example, a good way of grinding them down, breaking their steadfast. Even with a prince in it to give them the weapon skill low, they're still going to be outclassed against troops with better strength and toughness and weapons and armor. So they're quite a good one. As for the Necrosphinx and the War Sphinx, not a huge fan of the Necrosphinx in terms of its mechanics, but the model's very cool. One thing you guys have got to realize, and I think many people overlook when hyping the new Tomb Kings, is that they still can't march, and they have no reliable way of getting those spells off now. So although you can throw lots of dice at a spell, you've got a chance of miscasting, and your opponent's still got a chance to actually throw all of his dice at you as well. In 8th edition, I have a lot of games where neither player gets off a lot of significant magic because you hold back the dice for that important spell and you stop it. You couldn't do that with Tomb Kings in the past. So I think one way of putting it is that Tomb Kings have always relied on their magic in 7th edition and 8th, and they still rely on magic now. But the difference is that they had reliable magic before, so they could rely on their magic, whereas now they can't necessarily rely on that magic. Even with the Casket of Souls, more power dice, Hyro Titan, which I think is quite a good choice for Tomb Kings now with +3 to your spell rolls. If you come up against, Dwarves with their, bonus to spell dice and Rune of Balance, if you come up against, Empire with, lots of Warrior Priests, they're going to shut you down. You're up against Warriors of Chaos, you're going to be scared to throw too many dice because of that Infernal Puppet. So again, it's just, a matter of really having to take a lot more risks in 8th edition. Tomb Kings, I feel, a bit more of a balanced army now, but they're not quite the powerhouses you would have once thought, because even with that really awesome Necrosphinx and your big block of Hatred Tomb Guard, you're just chugging along 4 inches at a time. Your opponent can get into better positions than you are. If you're against a gun line, more shots off against you. Your opponent can pick the point of the battlefield where he can break through and just focus his tough units onto that side, and then, outmaneuver you late in the game. So that's the weakness of Tomb Kings at the moment, as what I feel it will be. There are ways of getting around that, sure, but it will take a lot of cunning with Tomb Kings. It won't, just be a matter of taking the good parts of the list and winning automatically. Nothing like that. So you've got to put some effort into them. Wow, and as for the new guys, like the Sepulchral Stalkers, the Cobra Knights, as I like to refer to them, they look cool. I don't think they will be real game winners on the battlefield. They are a little bit gimmicky, but I definitely recommend people try them out and have a go at them. They seem like a lot of fun. So I hope that Tomb King players continue to do well. I'm looking forward to playing against the new Tomb Kings in 8th edition, but to be honest, guys, I am looking forward more to playing with, you know, my Warriors of Chaos builds, which are constantly being refined. Had a game of Fantasy just the other week with my latest Warriors of Chaos build, which has 2 blocks of 40 Marauders with great weapons and Market Tzeentch, block of 18 Chosen with Market Tzeentch, a couple of units of Knights, which I will now put into 1 block of 10 Knights, 2 units of Marauders, 2 units of Hounds, you know, a level 4 Tzeentch Lord with all the gear, and a BSB with the 3+ ward save and a great weapon. And that sort of army, you know, produces a very long, wide battlefront where it's just solid, churning straight forward, 8 inches a turn, and then smack into the enemy. And by that time, you've actually cleared up threats, you know, potentially with your, you know, Flickering Fire and Gateway. And when the combats happen, you can chug along for a while. You know, Leadership 8 with a reroll most of the time, so you're fairly reliable in combat, but you'll be winning combats. And I think, you know, I'm looking forward to playing armies like that. Looking forward to getting the Skaven on the field, and I've seen other players do well with, you know, Help at Abomination and Furnace and 2 units of 7 Gutter Runners with Slings and Poison. I'm going to be trying the Bell out, you know, with those combinations as well at 2400 point levels. That'll be fun. And I will be coming back to the Empire. I'd really love to get that that sort of land boat steam tank the Forge World are doing these days for my own steam tank. So that'll be fun. And of course, more 40k, and I predict lots of really fun 40k battle reports coming up soon. But there you have it, guys. Have a look at the video description for what's in the Tomb King's army. If you would like to bid an amount of, say, $400 for it or more than that, please post in the replies or send me an email, and I'll keep everybody updated. But fingers crossed, army will be gone by the end of the week, and I'll be putting the money from it towards my my next modelling project. So enjoy, guys. Hope you got something out of this video. But the Tomb Kings are not going to be my next army for Fantasy. There you go. Catch you later.